Hi, I'm Jordan Brown, and for this week's story I was able to take a break in the turkey hunting action and head down to Lake St. Clair for the early catch and release bass season.
Well, that's a Lake St. Clair smallie.
I started Jacket Products early last year in 2011. My passion is bass fishing, and I'm addicted to tournament bass fishing. I've always wanted to have my own products out on the market, and since I love bass fishing and it's very costly to get into the tournament fishing end of bass fishing, I wanted to start a company where I could sell lures at a reasonable rate at a top quality.
Well, slow start first thing this morning, kind of switching through some colors. This is the one that he was caught on. This is one of our SP series, our suspending models in the Bubba color. Seems to work real well for us, especially early in the year. So we'll see if we can get a few more to hit it.
The four key components of our jerkbait, the Jerk Money 120, is the appearance, the action, the depth that it gets down, and how well it casts. The appearance of it is designed to resemble a shad, which is the most favorable bait fish to bass. The action of the bill design allows it to be able to be fished in slow, more subtle action, as well as a fast, erratic action when fish are more aggressive. The depth of the jerkbait gets down to about 5 feet, which is what you want in a good jerkbait. The last thing is the castability. The Jerk Money 120 is designed to have BB weights that roam within the lure for castability purposes. These BBs not only help with the casting, but they set off a distinctive sound when jerked that bass can't resist.
It's a good one too. Oh yeah. Oh, that's a Lake St. Clair smallie. Beautiful fish. Let's get him back in the water.
My name is Gary Emery. We're out on Lake St. Clair today, hoping to catch some big smallmouth for you guys. I'm a local angler. I fish quite a bit of FLW events, the Ever Starts and the BFLs and such. In all my adventures, you know, I really realize just how fortunate we are to have such a great fishery here on St. Clair, and, you know, for us to live as close as we do to it. Today we're going to introduce a new bait. It's our lipless crankbait design. We call it the Hammer. And what's unique about this bait is the wide head in the front of the bait here. This is a 3/4 ounce bait in a 1/2 ounce size. What that wide head does is it displaces a lot of water, It really allows you to slow that bait down to a slow crawl if that's what your preference is. Deflects off cover real well with that head design. Casts like a rocket. Nice knock to it with the rattles. We throw this bait from early spring clear through till the fall.
Although we did have somewhat of a slow start, once the bite turned on, we started putting fish in the boat left and right. It didn't seem to matter what color we were throwing, the fish just couldn't stand letting that jerkbait swim by. When we had a short break in the action, I asked what it was like growing up near the shores of Lake St. Clair.
You know, I grew up fishing these lakes around town here in St. Clair and started at a real young age. My dad was real good with taking us out and, you know, pretty much trying to keep us off the streets and on the water, you know, as well as in the woods. Brian and I have known each other for quite some time. I play a pretty integral part in the Jacket Products Corporation here. I manage the pro staff and kind of try to keep things on the up and up, and you know, try to get the exposure out there for such great baits that we have.
Lake St. Clair smallmouth bass. There's nothing like it.
Tell me a little bit about that drought this morning.
It started out pretty slow. I think we were in a little too shallow. But as we made our way out to, say, 9 feet, that's when we started getting them.
I could tell these guys really knew the lake well and loved to fish for smallmouth bass. Most of the conversations on the boat revolved around old fishing stories and tales of tournament finishes on the lake. You'll be hard-pressed to find many guys who spend as much time on Lake St. Clair as these two. Somewhere along the line, we did manage to talk a little bit about the reasons for starting the company.
As a competitive angler, you know, I mean, I obviously love my jerk baits and I fish jerk baits, you know, throughout the year. But, you know, to really get a high-end jerk bait, the costs were just ridiculous. I mean, obviously everybody wants to catch fish and, you know, as a competitive angler and fishing in the tournaments, you need to catch fish. So with our line of jerk bait, we really wanted a high-quality bait at an affordable price for the everyday guy. You know, not everybody's a tournament angler. Most importantly, we just want to go out and catch fish every time we go on the water. And with our line of jerk baits, you know, it's a real high quality bait at 30–40% of the cost of a competitor's jerk bait.
I'm very fortunate to live so close to such a great fishery where you can catch 5 and 6 pound smallmouth bass that you don't see in a lot of lakes around the country. You can catch 25 pounds of smallmouth bass in a matter of an hour here on Lake St. Clair.
It was a great day to be on the water, and a good day of fishing to go with it was just icing on the cake. Today was another example of the world-class fishery we have here in Michigan. Special thanks to Brian and Gary for letting me tag along and giving me a chance to check out some of their lures.
If you ever fish a tournament on the Detroit River, there is one fundamental decision that you will have to make at takeoff: Lake Erie or Lake St. Clair. On day one of the FLW Tour Open, 136 anglers had to make that call, and by weigh-in time, Erie seemed to be the right play. Lake Erie specialists took advantage of the light winds and calm seas today to make long runs into the Great Lake and catch giant bags of smallmouth. But St. Clair pros represented as well, with 4th and 5th place coming from the smaller lakes.
And the day dawns today, you head to Erie or you go to St. Clair?
Erie.
Erie.
No doubt about it.
Erie was your dominant choice based on your practice and everything here?
Yeah, and my experience.
Yeah.
This time of the year, I prefer Erie. I've got some isolated rock piles and some areas that I know won't have any pressure on them because I found them, you know, just practicing out here in the past.
A little bit of an idea of how long of a run for you in Erie?
20 miles.
Had a pretty good day for that. I mean, the weather kind of allowed you to get out there and do that?
Absolutely. You know, you don't need much wind on Erie for those waves to kick up. And this morning we had maybe a 4 mile an hour wind, and it was enough to slow us down. We couldn't run full out, and it was a little bit rough, but it wasn't too bad for Erie.
How many places were you able to hit today?
Three spots.
As I understand it, when it gets calm like that, it allows you to run around a little bit more. You can at least maneuver instead of just being pinned down in one place.
Absolutely, absolutely. The first spot we started in, we didn't catch any fish, but I didn't waste much time there. Then the second spot we ran to was at shallow flat and 12 feet, throwing that Jerk Money 120 by Jacket Products, and then we started getting them. Lost a couple quick fish, but they really started biting. The bite slowed down probably about 11 o'clock, so we pushed out into deeper water. That 12-foot flat will drop off pretty quick, down to 20, 25, 30 feet. And on that shelf, I was throwing a Lunch Money big boy tube, and that's when I got that giant.
How many keepers did you catch on the day?
I caught 7 keepers, and I lost 2 fish
So
at the boat.
So it's not like I've heard about Erie. You don't get a lot of bites out there, but when you do, they're the right size.
They're the right size, absolutely. Yeah.
You don't have to do a lot of culling all day long.
No, although that's not a bad problem to have.